Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Persona. And this movie came out in 1966 and is directed by Ingmar Bergman, if I pronounced that correctly, the same director as The Seventh Seal, which I really love. And honestly, I can come back to that movie like right now if I really wanted to. But instead, I'm talking about Persona, and this is the second movie that I've seen from this director. And I enjoyed this one. But unlike Seventh Seal, I wasn't wild about it. I was like, okay, that was good. I enjoyed what I got out of it. Like the technical aspects for this movie is my favorite things from this movie. Like it's very well shot. There are parts of this movie that really stuck with me, especially in the opening. It was kind of like a horror movie doing something like pretty different from what I'm used to seeing. And there were moments where that kind of tone reminded me a bit of Eraserhead at points. And there were a couple moments where I was thinking a little bit of The Silence of the Lambs, and I thought it was going to be maybe possibly a mix of the two. And if you really, really want to stretch it, then I guess maybe it's a mix of those two, but I wouldn't really say that's the core of the movie. And honestly, there were things that I really appreciated. There were some editing choices that were really effective for me, and I thought that they added a lot to the film. The acting was great. I enjoyed the performances a lot. There's not really a big cast in this movie in terms of like a big cast of people. In terms of actors that you see on screen, it's very minimal, and there were some really interesting lighting choices in this film that I liked. And with it being a black and white film, I do feel as though lighting is something that you can really use to your advantage and not to have to worry too much if something's overexposed or underexposed. If you have an intent, and I do feel as though this movie had intention behind it, which really helped it out. I also enjoyed how information was presented in this movie. That's something that I did like a lot. And the dialogue I thought was great. And I really enjoyed the topic of conversations that characters had and ideas that they were exploring it just through the dialogue. But where I do take issue with this movie, and this is something that where Seventh Seal really worked for me, whereas this movie didn't, is that I wasn't big on the overall story of this movie. Not that I wasn't really attached to anything that had to offer me story wise. I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting, but there was nothing really for me to latch onto story wise. It was all very simple, which is fine. Like, I do feel as though a movie should be free to tell whatever story it wants to tell, but I just wasn't really hooked in by much narrative wise. And also, I do like the dialogue and topic of conversations characters have more than the characters themselves, because not that I found them to be bad. I just thought that they were fine, the characters themselves. I just wish there was something else to them or something else going on. And this movie is really short. It's like 80 minutes long. And while I do appreciate that it just gets right to the point, right to where you would want to see characters do certain things, I do feel as though there were many points where I was just feeling a little hollow and just a bit bored after a certain point, because I was kind of feeling like, yeah, I've seen things like this explored in movies where I'm connecting to the overall narrative and structure in which we're receiving. Whereas this movie, I appreciate it a lot. And from a technical standpoint and from an objective standpoint, if I'm just viewing the movie objectively, I think that this is an incredible movie. But throwing in my own personal experience, it's not really the best thing ever made. Like, there are movies out there that I prefer a lot more to this, and there were a couple of moments where I was questioning why characters were doing certain things, and I also would have rather had, and this is kind of a nitpicky thing, I do feel as though having narration would have helped a little bit, because there were moments where characters were just talking to themselves out loud for absolutely no reason, and I'm not sure why that was the case. And sure, you could come up with interpretations as to why things were done in a certain way. However, I just would have preferred them to be differently for my own personal experience, because I just didn't feel I was getting much out of it. And there was one editing choice towards the end of the film that left me a bit confused because I wasn't sure what the implication was supposed to be. Was it supposed to be one thing or was it another thing? And I can't really talk about it because that's spoiler territory, but I was just a little confused as to what the implication was. And I do feel as though that's one of the best parts of the movie for me personally. Whereas most of the movie, I was like, yeah, I'm appreciating this, but I'm not really connecting with this. And for those of you who are wondering, part of the reason why I didn't connect with this movie isn't because this is a film that is unique or is an art house film and is just trying to do something different. That's not the case at all. I love movies that are different. However, I do feel as though some of my favorite movies are ones that are kind of a blend between art house films and kind of cookie cutter crowd pleaser movies in a sense that have like a traditional narrative structure. I do feel as though I connect with those a lot better. Like Stanley Kubrick movies, I like a lot more, and David Lynch movies, same thing, and just any number of directors I could name where they find a really great balance between the two, and they just make a film that I really connect with. Whereas this one, while I do appreciate what it's trying to do, I just feel as though it just goes full on art house film. Not that all movies like that are bad for me, and not that movies like that I can't just say, oh, that's a 10 out of 10 movie and I really connect with this one. Like, obviously, there are plenty of films that are like that that I really love. However, this one just left me kind of starved to thinking, like, I wanted something more from this. So, good movie overall, and it's definitely unique and not a movie for everyone. And I don't even know who I would recommend this to, because I'm not sure if the type of person who likes Seventh Seal would like this. So, check this movie out, would be my recommendation. If you're open to the idea of watching something different. So just keep that in mind if you choose to watch this movie. And I like this one overall. It's just I have a lot of thoughts on it. So check this movie out whenever you get the chance, if it sounds like it's up your alley. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Persona a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Persona, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for The Red Shoes. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.